Michael Kluge.
Thank you. I consider myself an intruder here because I don't work for NetApp. I work for the University in Dresden. But NetApp asked me if I would talk a little bit about the acquisition that we made recently. So we finalized a contract with Bill. We are buying a system from them, 100 teraflops compute this year, petaflop next year, and some storage from NetApp with it. In Germany, actually, to get funding for an HPC system, you need to have an own research agenda. And what we always do in Dresden is performance analysis. That's our specialty. That's what we do since, I guess now like 20 years, since Professor Nagel came to Dresden. With this system, we want to do some storage research and basically kind of trying to catch users that do I/O the wrong way or do have strange I/O patterns and kind of have storage with different I/O characteristics and maybe separated storage areas that we can assign to different users so that they don't hurt each other, and that maybe some have SATA disks, some have SSD disks, some have maybe something created from a bunch of local disks, things like that. And we want to do some continuous monitoring of resources, do some I/O request pattern tracking, and especially trying to find if there's correlations between batch system activities and things like counters on switches and maybe cache hits on RAID controllers, things like that. So for the first phase of our system, which is currently being installed, and the acceptance tests are supposed to start soon. We bought 4 pairs of the successor of the controller that's been sold to Lawrence Livermore. So we have the E5560, and each of the pairs has 120 disks in it, and together with the 4 file servers that we have, it fits well in a rack. So it's a petabyte usable storage from the user's perspective. And we've already seen 27 gigabytes a second on reads and 20 gigabytes a second on writes, which gives you a throughput of 7 gigabytes, almost 7 gigabytes for a single OSS server. And I've seen 3 gigabytes seconds writes from a single client, which I think is pretty nice to have. For the phase 2, which is supposed to be installed end of next year, we'll get 5 petabyte in SATA storage and a dedicated SSD file system. The E5500 controllers come basically in 2 flavors for the external ports. We have the option where you have 4 ports per controller, and you always have 2 controllers per chassis. And in Lawrence Livermore, they use the InfiniBand version of this. You can have up to 384 SAS drives in one. We have 120. I think in Lawrence Livermore they have 60. And yeah, it's got a few different configurations, starting with 12, 24, and then multiples of 60 disks. So these are some performance measurements done by NetApp people, actually by Didier Gaba from NetApp in France. I think that the most impressive number is here. If you look at the 4 LANs and reads, you see that if you know that a LAN is always built from 10 disks, that you read from the disks with an average of 200 megabytes a second from single disk. And that you scale nice well up to 8 gigabytes a second on reads, and that you are almost at 7 gigabytes on writes if you use 120 disks. So this is how actually the system looks like. That's installed in one of our racks. We have the 4 servers. Each server has 4 dual-port SAS cards, and each card so each server has one link to each available controller. So in that way, you can lose a controller or a SAS card or a server, and the file system will still be available. And I already played Chaos Monkey in this file system myself. So once I pulled power cables from an OSS server, and we still got, I think, 14 gigabytes a second writes from the 20 during, including all the failover going on and so on. So this was a nice job I built for setting this up. These are all my slides. Thank you.